Look at the weather.
It's beautiful here.
Non-stop rain.
Oh, man, it is a blazer out there.
It's cold and it's shivery.
It is cold.
It's really coming down here.
I really enjoy your weather reports.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we're talking weather in a whole new way. From historical events to what's coming up, plus weather news, science, safety, fun facts, and more.
I like where this is going.
This is Weather Weekly. Weather Weekly with Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
It is episode number 104 of Weather Weekly, and we're doing another special edition of Snow Talk as we gear up for this late week winter system. Today is Wednesday, December 21st. It will be the last quiet day before we kind of start getting into the mess of this winter system that'll be coming in Thursday, Friday, and Saturday specifically. So we're going to kind of walk you through the details, any changes that we have made to the forecast. And again, if you're new, we'll give you a fresh update on what you can expect so you can plan accordingly as we gear up for this holiday weekend. That's coming up next. Snow Talk here on Weather Weekly. We're up to episode 104 here of Weather Weekly. It's easy to knock some of these out when you're doing them almost every day, right? Good to be with you here again. It's another special edition of Weather Weekly. We're doing a Snow Talk version here. Today is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. It's also the first day of winter. The winter solstice will hit later on Wednesday afternoon, which means daylight actually gets longer from here on out. So something to look forward to. But obviously we're into the heart of winter, and boy, are we going to see it and feel it over the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and dive in deep on this forecast. And I'll tell you, if you've been listening the last couple of days, first of all, thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast. Hopefully it's been beneficial to you. I haven't really made any significant changes. There's been a couple of subtle changes. There's been a bit of a more of a northerly track. We think the real significant snowfall maybe even getting pushed farther north into Michigan. We're still going to get snow accumulation here. The other difference that we've noted is maybe a little bit of an earlier changeover by a couple of hours from rain to snow on Thursday. So those are kind of the bigger changes that we've made to the forecast. But everything else looks to kind of pan out the way we've been kind of foreseeing. So as of, I'm recording this about 8:45 in the morning on Wednesday. Now, so you may be listening to this and things may change, but at least as of the way I'm looking at it right now, winter storm watch is in effect for most of Indiana. Now, that is going to change probably within the next 24 hours. We're already seeing many counties moved into a winter storm warning. I'm thinking on the fly here, so bear with me. West of us, Western Illinois, I think, is the closest where we have warnings, basically kind of hugging the Mississippi River. Most of Iowa, most of Missouri, most of Minnesota, a good chunk of Wisconsin, all under winter storm warnings. There's some areas that are under winter weather advisories as well. And then you have, most of our state, Indiana, a lot of Illinois, all of Michigan, northern Ohio under winter storm watches at this hour. Again, all of those are going to get upgraded. I think it's also worth mentioning there are wind chill warnings for most of the central portion of the country, basically east of the Rockies. Winter or wind chill warnings are in place. And so we're probably going to see that as well. I haven't really talked much about any warning products when it comes to wind chill, but again, I think you're going to have that in addition to whichever way they go with a winter weather advisory or winter storm warning as we kind of get going here. And again, you're going to start seeing those probably placed sometime later today or at latest Thursday morning would be my guess that the Weather Service is going to do. They're probably just waiting on some more data to come in, see how these trends are going to go. I think the wind chill warning or advisory, probably warning, is probably a sure bet. I wouldn't even be shocked if you get kind of a wind advisory. You may have 3 different, hazard products that are coming out. So it's going to be a messy map that we'll probably be showing Thursday morning on daybreak. So That's where we stand now. Again, no significant changes to the timeline here. We have no issues here for your Wednesday. Everything kind of starts on Thursday. And the thinking is right now we start things as like a light drizzle or rain. And again, we've moved up the timeline, so we may actually see that maybe mid to late morning with the scattered light showers. Your temperatures are going to get to the low 40s probably by around lunchtime, so certainly warm enough to support that. What we have been saying on air is if you have some travel interests, you got some errands to run, that kind of thing, and you're looking for a time to be indoors, I'm saying mid-afternoon right now. And the trends have been a little bit earlier, so I allow for some flexibility there. But I think mid-afternoon, you want to be off the roads because, well, it looks like we'll flip that switch probably sometime between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. around the metro area, maybe a little bit earlier in western counties. And so when we flip the switch, it's going to be a very quick changeover, and it's going to be a significant changeover because I think it's going to be immediate heavy snow that you're going to have to contend with here. On top of that, and we spent some time talking about this yesterday, but on top of the accumulating snow, we're worried about flash freezing that's going to happen during the evening hours on Thursday. We're probably going to drop about 30 degrees in a span of about 3 hours. So, let's assume the cold front's going to move around 4 o'clock. So our 3 p.m. temperature, or maybe even 3:30 for that matter, could be in the low 40s. And by 7 o'clock, we could be into the mid-teens. So that's a huge drop. And because we're going to get some light drizzle or rain, you're going to have some damp roadways. I don't think it's going to be enough that you're going to have puddles. It's not like super heavy rain. But enough that, you could have a glaze of ice. That's going to flash freeze. And then on top of that, you're going to have snow piling up on top of it. So that's only going to add to the issues. And we've talked numerous times that you get to certain temperatures that chemicals just don't work on the roads. So that's going to be a bit of a concern. So the accumulating snow is going to happen, when we flip that switch Thursday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you're at. And then it's going to go probably through early Friday morning, maybe even pre-daybreak. A lot of the projections now are kind of kicking the heavy snow out of here before the sun comes up, which, hey, that'd be a great thing. But it's going to be a significant thump of snow in that duration. So Thursday overnight, that's going to be very difficult traveling because of obviously accumulating snow and because of the flash freezing conditions, okay? Once we get to the mid-morning hours on Friday, our focus then shifts to the snow that's on the ground and then blowing and drifting snow, low visibility, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, and extreme wind chills. You're probably looking at wind chills 20 to 30 below through the duration of your Friday morning, and that's not going to change until probably Saturday night. Sunday morning is going to be really chilly. The high winds are going to continue through around Saturday afternoon, and then they'll start to relax a little bit. I know we spent a lot of time on that. The travel difficulties will really be Thursday night and a Friday. I still don't think that's changed, but the impacts or the hazards have changed a little bit. We're going to wind down the heavy snow a little bit earlier. All right. But the wind gusts blowing and whipping around the snow to create low visibilities will remain on Friday. And so that's going to be your travel concerns for Friday. And then obviously the wind chills. I'm still very much concerned about power outages on Friday because of the high winds. And you combine that with the dangerously cold temperatures. I mean, some areas may not get above 0 for high temperatures on Friday. That's no joke. I think you're going to have sub-zero lows. You barely get into the positives for high temperatures on Friday. That's how cold this air mass is going to be that settles in. And if we get power outages, that's a bad recipe. That is a bad recipe. And we know that will be an issue. Where that happens, it's tough to gauge. But we do know that power outages will be likely in some spots. So be prepared for that. Have a way to make sure you're staying warm. and hope for the best. Again, Friday is going to be a pretty rough day if you're out traveling, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we avoid significant widespread power outages. But we are fearful that there will be at least some power outages on Friday. If you are traveling for the holiday weekend in itself, it's still not going to be great. Saturday, it's going to be frigid, highs in the single digits. Your wind chills are still going to be in that 20 to 30 below range all day Saturday. You won't have any falling snow that will accumulate, but still some blowing and drifting will be going on Saturday, so not great. Christmas Day is a little bit better. It's still cold. I've got highs in the low teens. Your wind chills are probably going to be ranging 15 to 25 below for much of the holiday on Sunday. It isn't going to be quite as windy, so maybe not the whiteout conditions like we're expecting Friday, but certainly going to be a tremendous issue in terms of the cold and some slick roads there. So several days that you're going to be dealing with issues. Obviously, the worst of it is going to be Thursday late afternoon at the earliest, and that's going to last until Friday morning with the heavy snow. I think Friday all day is going to be difficult, though, even though we may be getting rid of the heavy snowfall accumulations. So that's kind of the timeline breakdown. In terms of the snowfall forecast, I haven't really changed it much. Around the metro, I'm kind of leaning in the 3 to 6 inch range. There's been some trends that it lightens up a little bit. South of I-70, I think you're going to be closer to 2 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 4. The farther north you go, the heavier snowfall rates will be. The northern third of the state, you could be in the 6 to 8 inch range, up closer to northwestern Indiana. South Bend, coming off the lake, I think you're in like an 8 to 12 inch range up in South Bend if your travels are taking you that way. The heaviest amounts of over a foot are going to be well into Michigan, it appears right now. But again, don't focus solely on the snowfall accumulation. We've been trying to hammer that home. It's all the hazards combined that's going to create some major travel difficulties. And then you add the other equation of there's going to be a lot of people on the road, regardless of the weather concerns for Friday. There's still going to be a lot of people out on the road traveling. It's just going to make things very, 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 very difficult. Okay. So we just want to make sure you are equipped with all the knowledge that we have in terms of this storm system. Again, no major changes to that forecast, but there's still some things that we're going to kind of massage and fine tune as we get closer. We'll be doing it up until really the start of this event that will start sliding in here for the day on Thursday. So make sure you're staying up to date. Of course, we will keep you updated here on Wish TV, wishtv.com, the All Indiana Podcast Network. We've got all the info that you need. But again, that's the latest update from here as of Wednesday morning on the 21st. We'll, of course, give you another update on the podcast here on Thursday morning, which will be the day of, and that will give you the most up-to-date information. But now at least you have some knowledge of what to expect on this last quiet day, the day before the storm system comes in. We'll have another update coming your way next here on Weather Weekly. Thank you so much for joining us here for another special edition of Weather Weekly Snow Talk on this Wednesday, December 21st. Again, make sure you're staying up to date with the forecast, and we've got lots of updates coming your way. Watch for the Facebook Lives from the Storm Track 8 weather team. Be doing one for your Wednesday afternoon. Ashley Brown will be in for your Wednesday night, and she'll be updating as well. And of course, we'll continue to post updates not only on Wish TV, but of course, wishtv.com and our free Storm Track 8 weather app. As we are now as we move in the next 24 hours, Thursday's the day. So make sure you plan accordingly as things may get a little bit dicey here as we get to the end of the week and then heading into the weekend. If you have any comments, concerns, make sure to shoot us an email, marcus.bailey@wishtv.com. You can also find me on social media, Marcus Bailey Weather on Facebook and at Marcus Bailey on Twitter and Instagram is where you will find me as well. We'll have another update coming your way on Thursday morning for another special edition of Weather Weekly Snow Talk version there, as we will be gearing up for this winter storm that'll be knocking on the door. While you're here, make sure to check out all the other great podcasts, all part of the All Indiana Podcast Network. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Discover Discover more from Storm Track 8 Weather and Wish TV. Online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Plus, be sure to check out more great podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.